Welcome to Something to Talk About.
Hi, welcome to Something to Talk About. My name is Taco, and I got another Song of Ice and Fire location video for you, and it's a good one, because we're in the Stormlands. I almost forgot where I was at. Stormlands. And yeah, I'm really excited about that, because we're checking out Blackhaven. And seat of House Dondarrion, and Dondarrion's probably one of my favorite houses. So, I'm super excited. Here, pause this, read this. My name is Taco. I do all these in one big long take. You know the deal. I also paused it because I had to check something out. This is the final area, right? So I did. I'm going to read off my phone, so this is going to be bad TV. Not that I'm normally not bad TV, but I've now covered every area, including Essos / Sotharios, and then walls / beyond the wall. Those are the only ones I've connected. But for the Crownlands, I start off with the Whispers, and then for the wall, I did the Shadow Tower. Riverlands, I did Derry, Dorne, I did Hellholt, Iron Islands, 10 Towers, the North Greywater Watch, and then later Dreadfort, which is it's later on this list. And then Essos, I did Cohor, Westerlands, Clegane's Keep, Reach, another Marcher house, 2 Marcher houses, with Horn Hill, and then Dreadfort, like I said, for Halloween, Dreer Fort in the Vale of Arryn, and here I am. That's it, man. That's Stormlands. I conquered them all. We're about to do it again for round 2, where I have another house all the way through. Should I say them? Yeah, all right. I'm going to say it. Duskendale, Molestown, White Walls, Tower of Joy, Lonely Light, Last Hearth, Selhories, Golden Tooth, Brightwater Keep, Goldtown, and Griffin's Roost. I was not planning on giving you guys that much information. That's like months and months. Every other week is one of those. That's so much. And guess what? All subject to change. Don't be atting at me later when you're like, hey, I thought you said we were going to do this one and you change it. Come on, man. It's subject to change. I think I literally changed one of those earlier today. I added one in. So yeah. Okay, let's talk about Blackhaven. That's enough preamble. Let's frackin' go. The Dornish Marches. Blackhaven is the seat of House Dondarrion in the southwestern Stormlands, part of the Dornish Marches. It is located in the northern Red Mountains near the Dornish border, north of Will and south of the river Cuckleswent. I've been doing this for years now, and I've never read the name of that river until this moment. Cuckleswent. All right. Great. The Dornish Marches are 1,000 leagues of marches, consists of grassland, moors, and plains, with a portion of the Red Mountains to the east. The Dornish Marches are split between the Reach and the Stormlands, with the majority of the marches belonging to the Stormlands. Blackhaven is in the Stormlands portion, of course. The Marcher Lords of the Stormlands have the strongest castles in the 7 Kingdoms. They are defended against, as they have defended against Dornish incursions for thousands of years. So don't misconstrue my words here. I didn't say biggest. I didn't say they have the biggest armies or the most important castles. Specifically strongest. And a lot of these castles are rather small. At least Blackhaven is. But really hard to take because they fight all the time. The Dornish Marches, many wars between the Dorne and Stormlands, and even the Riverlands in Stormlands, so on and so forth. And we'll talk about those, of course. But yeah. So that's why, the Dornish Marches and just the Marcher Lords in general have some pretty strong castles. All right, as they defended against Dornish. Yeah, I already said that. The Marcher Lords of the Stormlands have a strong martial tradition. The Dornish Marches are known for producing excellent longbows, and many famous bowmen come from this region, such as Fletcher Dick, It's just one I just wanted to say because I like that name. Marcher houses include House Karen of Nightsong, House Dondarrion of Blackhaven, that's what we're doing, House Selmy of Harvest Hall, and House Swan of Stone Helm. Will I cover all those? Maybe. I don't get there's not a lot of art. That's it. And also Stormlands is one of those places we have a little bit more actual time in, but all of those houses I just said, we know about because they're really like cool, but we don't have any chapters there. And again, this is one of those that we don't have any chapters at. So how I'm going to navigate talking about Blackhaven is we do have a really cool history for House Dondarrion, and I'm reading that first. And then I will be doing the layout of the castle eventually, and we're going to go into the history because the House Dondarrion is tied into a lot of history. But once we get to the actual modern times, since no characters go there, I'm more just going to talk about Beric Dondarrion. This isn't a Beric Dondarrion video. I'm not covering every single line like I do in character videos, but this is probably the closest you'll ever get to a Beric Dondarrion video, unless I do a live stream one day. Did I say spoilers? Oh, if you paused it and read it, it says it, right? Yeah, put it in all caps, see? All right, cool. House Dondarrion and Blackhaven. So this, we don't really get a good layout description, so it's just in the bottom paragraph is what the castle looks like. I wish we had more of it, but like I said, no character ever goes here, so we don't have a lot for it. The Dondarrion line was founded when a messenger from the Storm King was ambushed by two Dornishmen while riding on a stormy night. An arrow killed his horse beneath him, and he spilled to the ground. Two Dornishmen came up out of the darkness in ringmail and crested helms. His sword has broke beneath him when he fell, so he has nothing, right? But the Dornishmen, crushed beneath him, and when he saw that, he thought he was doomed. But the Dornishmen closed. But as the Dornishmen closed to cut him down, lightning cracked from the sky. It was bright and burning purple, which is why we got a purple theme here today. And it split, striking the Dornishmen in their steel and killing them both where they stood. Yeah, the lightning bolt split and hit two dudes at once. It's so sick. The message gave the Storm King victory over the Dornish, and in thanks, he raised the messenger to lordship. And there he is. He took arms, the forked purple lightning bolt, on a black field powdered with stars. Yeah. I do have it later. But yeah, there's also a lot of different interpretations of, well, all sigils, but especially this one, there a lot where you just see the two lightning bolts fork, and then there's the one that I will show later, this one where, yeah, it does depend, right? Yeah, this is one of the most interpreted ones. But yeah, Dondarrion's got probably one of the coolest non-Garth Greenhand origin stories. I really like the idea of this messenger being saved by a bolt of lightning. And yeah, it sounds very hero mythical, like something that we would talk about, a mythical hero from the ancient world, right? The castle of Blackhaven has forbidding black basalt walls and a dry moat said to be bottomless. That's awesome. Though Blackhaven is small and modest compared to the great castles of the Seven Kingdoms, the Dondarrions often, not all the time, we'll talk about one of them, often make up for it with being lovers of music and jousting. And like what we said, they're very martial people. I do think that Dondarrions kind of have the reputation, yes, it's kind of just one that I just talked about. By the way, I just covered a Dondarrion, Simon Dondarrion, and I'm going to be repeating myself a lot here. So if you just watch a Simon Dondarrion video, sorry, I'm not covering it completely. I'm covering Simon's part at Blackhaven, not anywhere else. So yeah. And also, if you've recently watched my Savage Sam video, cool. Thank you, man. Keep that one going. I'm covering some of that too. But yeah, let's talk history. So the Second Dornish War. The Second Dornish War was a campaign against the First Vulture King and his followers when they invaded the Reach and Stormlands during the reign of King Aenys the First Targaryen in 37 AC, the Vulture King scored a number of early victories against Marcher Lords, and his support swelled more than 30,000 men, most of them small folk. This Vulture King is half mad and his followers are rabble, undisciplined and unwashed. Lord Harmon Dondarrion wrote to the king. So yeah, Harmon Dondarrion's talking mad crap, right? And he's like, these guys suck. They smell. They're unwashed. We can smell them coming from 50 leagues away. Not long after he sent that letter, that same rabble stormed and seized his castle of Blackhaven. Yeah, so much for your huge walls, right? The Vulture King personally sliced off Dondarrion's nose before putting up Blackhaven to the torch and marching away. With such a large host, the Vulture King decided to divide his forces in two. Never a good idea. Sending one half to besiege Stonehelm under the command of Lord Walter Will, while marching ahead the other half against Night Song and Horn Hill. I just covered Horn Hill. You guys know that. Unable to capture Night Song, the Vulture King halted his siege and began to march west. The mutilated Harmon Dondarrion, noseless Harmon, that doesn't ring a bell. Noseless Dondarrion, that doesn't either. No nose Harmon. I'm trying, guys. He joined Ellen Karen to cut off his retreat, as in the Vulture King's retreat. Well, Lord Samwell Tarly, this is not the Samwell that you guys know of. This is Savage Sam Tarly, appeared in his line of march. The Vulture King's lines shattered and his host fled. So yeah, they get attacked on both sides by really, really strong, armies. And even though their army is so big, it just scattered them, right? So the Vulture's line scattered and his host fled. The hunt for the fleeing rebels became known as the, quote, Vulture Hunt. The Vulture King himself was captured alive and tied naked between two posts by Savage Sam Tarly, by the way, where he was left to die. I love this art. I don't always find art that is literally the exact scene we're looking at, but this is literally the scene of the Vulture Hunt. So cool. There's Savage Sam. I like that he has extra armor around his nose. Is that because Harmon Dondarrion just lost his? Maybe. Wow. All right. Let's keep going. Simon the Charmer in 54 AC. So we're moving ahead. A young old King Jerry and good Queen Alysanne go to Old Town to influence an election of the new High Septim. So keep in mind, like I just said, I just covered Simon Dondarrion. So sorry if a lot of this is retread. And if you're interested, and if you haven't gone and watched the Simon Dondarrion video, go do that. All right, cool. On the way, yeah, so they went and influenced an election of the new High Septim. On the way back, they make a trip through the Dornish Marches. They visited Horn Hill and Night Song, and then Blackhaven. Here we are. Queen Alysanne found Blackhaven especially cordial, though his castle was small and modest compared to the great halls of the realm. Lord Dondarrion was a splendid host, and his son Simon played the high harp as well as he jousted, and entertained the royal couple by night with sad songs of star-crossed lovers and the fall of kings. Aemon Targaryen's a bastard. All right, cool. Moving on. All right. I don't know if I really believe that, but I love that theory. Good Queen Alysanne was taken back. We already know. Oh, no, never mind. Good Queen Alysanne was so taken back by Simon that the party lingered longer at Blackhaven than they had attended. They were still there when a raven reached them from Storm's End with dire tidings. Their mother, Queen Alyssa, was at the point of death. All right, now we're moving on. Now we're going to talk about the famous butthole, Criston Cole, also known as Fiston Pole, or Christmas Cole, was born the son of a steward in services of House Dondarrion of Blackhaven. So that's where good old Crispy comes from. After King Baelor the Befuddled I almost call him Butthole, but I just called Kristen Cole a Butthole. I usually call him King Baelor the Butthole, but yeah. Walked to Dorne at the end of his war that his brother started. All right, I'm already butchering this, but you guys know King Baelor the First, not Baelor Breakspear, the religious guy, walks all the way to Dorne to settle the war that his brother Darren the First, started. And right? Yeah, no, good. Why am I getting confused? Yeah, Darren the Good was Darren the Second. Yeah. He goes down to Dorne, settles this war, and then he walks back and he runs into a cousin of theirs. And where was I? Yeah. All right. So at the end of the war that his brother started, he walked back and so he walked all the way down there, and then he walked back and saved his cousin Aemon the Dragon Knight from a pit of vipers where he was bitten a bunch, most likely. And Aemon carried the unconscious king halfway down the Boneway until they reached a village in the Red Mountains, where a septum gave him clothing and a donkey to carry Baelor. Eventually, Aemon reached watchtowers of the Dondarrions, and there they were led to Blackhaven, where House Dondarrion's maester treated Baelor as well as he could before sending them to Storm's End. Yeah, so you guys know about that whole thing. Go watch my Aemon the Dragonite video. But yeah, they did stop at Blackhaven on the way back and got very needed help. All right, recent history in Beric Dondarrion. Sir Arlen of Pennytree, we're not super recent yet, and Duncan the Tall. We're about to have the Knights of the Seven Kingdoms show. This is going to be mentioned in that. Sir Arlen of Pennytree and Duncan the Tall served Lords Karen and Dondarrion when they fought a Vulture King in the Red Mountains 3 years before the tourney at Ashford Meadow. Lord Dondarrion took 800 knights and near 4,000 foot into the campaign. Barristan Selmy, now we're getting even more recent, at the young age of 10, donned armor of a mystery knight and entered the tourney at Blackhaven. Prince Duncan Targaryen took pity on the small mystery knight, while others laughed. Duncan jousted at Barristan, and no one else would, and it was Duncan who gave, this is not Duncan the Tall, this is Duncan the Small, gave Barristan Selmy his nickname, Barristan the Bold. Now we're on to Beric Dondarrion, current Lord of Blackhaven, was betrothed to Lady Ellaria Dane. Yes, that Dane. That House Dane. Following their betrothal, Beric took Ellaria's nephew, Edric Dane, who was the 7-year-old Lord of Starfall, the Lord of House Dane, back with him to Blackhaven to serve as his page. He later makes Edric his squire, and Beric comes to King's Landing to fight in the Hands tourney, celebrating Lord Eddard Stark's appointment as Hand of the King. Jane Poole wishes to marry him as soon as she sees him, because Beric Dondarrion's really, really hot, right? Was. Beric is chosen by Lord Eddard Stark, the Hand of the King, to command 100 men sent to capture Gregor Clegane and execute him for his crimes. I only have one more slide. All right, we're not covering everything Beric Dondarrion does. I'm giving you the clip notes, because they don't take place at Blackhaven. But I can't just end it there. I wanted to talk more about Beric. However, Beric's company is ambushed by Clegane and Lannister men at the Mummer's Ford, with Beric dying and then being resurrected by Thoros of Myr. Beric and Thoros of Myr lead the survivors in attacking the forging parties of Tywin Lannister, calling themselves the Brotherhood Without Banners. Sir Davos Seaworth meets with various Storm Lords to convince them to join the cause of Stannis Baratheon, but he is unable to find the missing Beric, because you guys know what he's up to. It is unknown if Beric's household at Blackhaven declares for anyone for the War of the Five Kings due to his absence. So yeah, Blackhaven is like one of the Dondarrions aren't really part of the between like Stannis and Renly and all that stuff, because Beric wasn't there. He was doing Brotherhood Without Banner stuff. Lord Beric has been reported as killed by Sir Amory Lorch at the Rushing Falls, and then twice by Gregor Clegane, and then by Vargo Hoat in his Bloody Mummers. Arya Stark encounters the Brotherhood after searching for Beric for like ever. She meets him and witnesses him slain again by Sandor Clegane in a trial of combat. That means 2 Cleganes killed him 3 times. Thoros revives him, much to the surprise of Arya. She learns of Beric's 6 revivals thanks to the Last Kiss, a traditional burial rite performed by Thoros of Myr. Beric expresses being tired of living. That's so sad. Brianna Tarth learns that the Brotherhood Without Banners encountered Catelyn Stark's corpse by a riverside, and Lord Beric gave her the kiss of life to bring her back and then died a final death. I'm not going to play Poochie's dead. The character's not about him, all right? Or the video's not about him, okay? Lord Beric, gave her the kiss of life, got his final death, and the Brotherhood is now led by the revived Catelyn, known as the Lady Stoneheart, and the heir of a Blackhaven is unknown. There you guys go. Blackhaven. It's a great place. I wish we spent more time there. This was more of a House Dondarrion video, and I did leave out some House Dondarrion stuff that didn't take place at Blackhaven. And yeah, I kind of threw in that Beric stuff at the end because it felt weird not to. It's like, and Beric's there. And then people who don't know are like, wait, is that character important? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. Bye. So I wanted to give a little bit of information for him. Yeah, it's things because I want to do what I've been doing in covering a house from every area, but not every area is explored equally in the Song of Ice and Fire, right? Like, we see a lot more Crownslands, we see a lot more Riverlands, we see a lot more North. We don't see a lot in the Reach, and I'm sure people might be typing right now, like, we see plenty. Not like people staying there, like people staying at Derry, like people staying at whatever, Hogshorn. That's not one of them. But yeah, like a lot of the Stormlands, and we do have chapters in the Stormlands, and don't worry, that's why the next one I'm covering is Griffin's Roost. And especially the river or the Westerlands. We don't have any chapters that take place there. So I'm doing my best with the Westerlands, but yeah. There you guys go. I hope you liked my little sneak peek that I wasn't planning on doing, telling you guys what I got going on. And don't hold me to it. It's subject to change. I might switch it up a little bit. But yeah, what do you guys think of Blackhaven? Who do you think is now the Lord of Blackhaven? Is there just some guys over there just playing cards? They're like, who's in charge? I don't know. Keep farming. All right. That's all I got. Peace.